Hi, my name is Kristen Hackett, and this is my first learning teaching interaction for Family 445. I really hope I'm doing this right. I have no idea. My understanding is that we go through the weeks that we've done, the chapters that we've read, and kind of relate it back to our life. So I hope that that is what we're supposed to do, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with week 1 and then just kind of go on to week 3. So week 1, we read chapter 1, which is the historical and philosophical perspectives. It kind of tells you what outreach FLE is, or family life education, and they define it as any educational activity occurring outside a traditional school classroom setting, usually involving adults, that is designed to strengthen relationships in the home and foster positive individual, couple, and family development. I love this quote because I think it encompasses everything that we are going to try to do in this class and accomplish with this class, especially if we are working towards our workshop goal. I think that that is exactly what we need to do. We need to use that philosophy and move forward. Some of the examples that our reading gave us were marriage education, parenting skills, stress and anger management, and and adapting after a divorce. So quickly, a little bit of the history that I learned for outreach FLE is the earliest roots in the United States happened between church and state, which I found completely interesting because they wanted to raise their children according to the Bible. I can't even imagine that happening today, or what that might be like. Everywhere we go, there seems to be groups that are trying to take God out of everything, including things like the Pledge of Allegiance. So I would have loved to be in that earliest time where they were using the Bible to teach our children. I think that that would be great, even still today, because the Bible has so many wonderful things to teach. Around the 20th century, FLE kind of changed their endeavor, and it was to combat the negative impact of the conditions in society, such as industrialization, urbanization, and the ever-changing roles of women. The book said changing conditions in society were seen as problems or creating problems with the decrease in socialized behavior taught to children. So family life education was created on the theory of helping families deal with these new changes and hopefully to decrease some social problems of that day. I think we still have social problems today that we're dealing with. Some of those that I came up with on my own were the redefinition of marriage, technology is huge, bullying, gun rights, abortion, pornography, transgender use of public facilities. This is crazy. In my children's elementary, there's a transgender child, and there's been an uproar about which bathroom he or she should use. And it's very confusing to small children. So those are just kind of some of the things that maybe a good outreach program would talk about. As I think about where I want to see myself in regards to family life education, I would love to implement programs for family and children who are staying long-term in hospitals. I currently work with families that their children are suffering from pediatric cancer. And I feel that there is so much good we could do in the hospital setting, a program that we could come up with to help parents deal with that, to help children deal with that. And I would love to set my goals on that in the future. The other part of week 1 that we talked about was chapter 18, and that was improving the practice of family life education. And it said, FLE education programs must be grounded in the best current scholarship if they are to enjoy credibility. And I really believe that our resources that we use have to be grounded in scientific foundations, because there's too much out there in the world that is questionable. You can go on the web and find just about anything, but that doesn't mean that it's credible and that you should be using it to start a program. You have to do your FLE program with research-based foundations and a strong theoretical background. For my practicum project, I feel like I need to be aware that there's a lot of information out there, but that not all of it is based in science. And that if I want to create a project that is worthy of helping individuals, couples, and families, then I need to make sure that my foundations are built upon correct principles. Week 2, we discussed chapter 2, which is designing comprehensive FLE education prevention programs. And this chapter really highlighted the different levels of prevention. And it asked us to think about which level we would be. And as I thought about my future and the career that I really would like to do, I believe that I would like to work in the secondary level of prevention. I love that the primary level of prevention tries to curb a problem or issue before it occurs. I think that's a very worthy endeavor. However, I really want to work with individuals that need my assistance, that already have issues and need support. As I think about the ideal job for me, it would be, again, working in hospitals with children suffering from long-term illnesses. I love working with families and children, and so that would kind of be where I would want to go. I believe that the secondary level of prevention is where I would focus my time, and it says in our reading, secondary prevention involves working with audiences who have some signs of risk, where intervention would prevent more serious problems from occurring. So that's kind of where I want to focus my future endeavors. We also talked about chapter 16, which was marketing. This was week 3, marketing family life principles, practices, and programs. To be honest, this marketing part of it completely scares me. I'm not really very good at marketing. Like I said, I work for, or I volunteer for a nonprofit organization that helps kids with cancer. And I have had to try to market that to people, and it's actually very difficult. You think you have this amazing product, which I really feel like we do. However, to market it, you have to be very specific in your audience. You have to be very specific in who you target. Again, we help kids with cancer, so that narrows down our scope. But again, it's still very specific, and it's still really hard to market. And if you want the project to grow, you can't just market families that have kids with cancer, because that's great. We give them all the services for free, but we have to market individuals and businesses that want to donate to our project so that we have money in order to fulfill that. Basically, what we do is we take a child's dream, a child who has cancer, we take their dream and we make it come alive through the art of photography. So no matter what that child wants to be, a dragon rider, a mermaid, a baker, an artist, a scientist, it doesn't matter what they want to be, we make it come alive. We design a costume, we go to the right setting, and we make it come alive. And in order to do that, you have to have money, so we have to market it correctly. And honestly, it's really, really difficult, because no matter how much you believe in your product, you have to be able to sell that to somebody else. So I feel like in my outreach program that I'm going to be, the workshop that I'm going to be creating here, the marketing will probably be the very hardest for me, but I'm hopeful that as I learn more about it, I will be able to do it. So that kind of ends my presentation. I hope that I did this right, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.